please welcome our international health and safety expert, Ian Crawford.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
You better believe it. It's official. This is no video screen. It's no holographic image. It's me, Ian Crawford. I'm here from the National Association for the Prevention, Avoidance and Reduction of Accidental Death, NAFPAROD for short. If you want to find out more, please check out the website. Alternatively, if you're under 16 or possibly in touch with someone who is, pop along to cutleryforkids.org.uk. I've got some good news for you. One or two of you might be thinking, if we go to cutleryforkids.org.uk, the only internet site dedicated to safe use of cutlery, we're talking knives, we're talking forks, we're talking spoons. We have just made available a giant black and white poster of a dancing fork. The good news is it's in PDF format. That means if you download it, color it in, it's yours to keep. Take good forking care with your cutlery. That is a poster campaign that we've currently got running in the motorway service station toilets on the M1, M5 and M6 here in the UK, Great Britain. If anybody just heard a chicken, please do not panic. It's all part of the show and it's completely scripted. A fork in the hand is less painful than two in the bush. That is one we've been asked to rewrite. Now, I've seen one or two of you looking a little bit concerned, thinking this is supposed to be the Soapstone Comedy night. Please relax. Every single one of you be getting a certificate of attendance. You can count that towards your CPD, your staff development, or if you're out of work, pop it on your CV. Sadly, in the UK, there are 12,000 accidental deaths each year. Please do not be one of them. And the reason I'm here, and it can be a bit shocking when you hear it for the first time, what about this? There are 4 or 5 cutlery-related deaths each year. We're talking knives, we're talking forks, we're talking spoons. No. It's the teaspoon you got to watch out for. Size to injury ratio, that's one of the most dangerous items in your cutlery drawer. There are some accidents that are incredibly rare. Do you guys use duvets where you come from? Duvets? You know, those like padded blanket things you put on beds to keep you warm? Well, each year there are 12, on average, 12 suffocations in bed. One of those suffocations last year was a numerically dyslexic duvet buyer. Oh, yeah. He thought he'd bought himself a 13.5 tog. They found him crushed under the weight of a 53.1. All I'm saying is, before you go to bed tonight, please do check the label. In fact, before you go under, don't make a blunder. Check the label while you're still able. If anyone's making notes and you want me to slow down, please do ask. We're just going to start with the basics. I want you to imagine this hand here is a fork. Here we go. Here we go. Don't be a clown. Turn that fork down. If you are going to leave a fork unsupervised, it only takes a moment to turn it over, thus minimizing the likelihood of a prong or tine-related injury. Now, guys, I've got a funny feeling that some of you don't know this fact I'm about to tell you. Please do share it. Listen, did you know that any fork that has ever been manufactured, built, painted, or imagined always has one more prong than gaps? It's easy to remember. I see some of you looking a bit concerned. It's easy to remember. G plus 1 equals P, if G equals gaps and P equals prongs. Now, put up your hand if you want to imagine a fork. Just somebody put up their hand. Put up your hand if you want to imagine a fork. We got Soapstone Debs up there. Is that right? Soapstone. Yep. Shout out. How many gaps has your imaginary fork got, Soapstone?
It's got 7.
8 prongs, ladies and gents. 8 prongs. See how fast I did that? That deserves a round of applause. Thank you.
Lightning speed.
We got to move on. We got to move on. You, by the way, if you're good at maths, you can do it the other way round. P minus 1 equals G, but that's for the advanced cutlery users. Now, where does that leave us? Oh yeah, the knife. Imagine this hand is a knife. Look, we're getting a lot of accidents reported. People spreading butter on toast. Please use the knife. Look, let the knife do the work. Let the knife glide from side to side. If you can, try and use your hand naturally as a counterweight and balance to the steel alloy knife, and also put your fingers in the air to warn anyone around you that the knife is in operation. Don't be a nutter. Use a knife to spread
Butter.
We'll try that again. Here we go. Don't be a nutter. Use a knife to spread butter. And I noticed 1 or 2 of you are a bit slow there, but don't worry. It will also work for non-dairy and olive-based spreads. Thank you. Now, has anyone here ever been to Grimsby in the UK? UK?
No.
Oh, yeah. You thinking of going back, my friend?
No.
Probably not. In 1991, this was a long time ago, there were 4 lions escaped from the zoo. In fact, it was the circus, and the same thing happened just this week in 2023 in a small seaside town near Italy. Look it up on your social medias. I've seen 1 or 2 of you thinking I'm not telling the truth. I am. You would, and the sooner they learn how to store lions, the better. This is a true story. Michael Strant was playing snooker. He walked home after his game of snooker through the town centre. He got knocked down by a lion, an adult, fully grown lion. And if it hadn't been for a quick-thinking police officer, let's hear it for the emergency services. Come on, guys, let's hear it. Oh, yeah. If it hadn't been for a quick-thinking police officer, this story may have ended differently. He walked away with his life with just 24 stitches, my friends. Now, it was a happy ending, not quite, because as a lifelong football fan and a fan of the European and World Cup, I'm afraid it ruined his enjoyment of watching football every time he settled down and he heard 3 lines on a shirt. We're talking flashbacks. By the way, if any of these jokes, I should say, this information I'm spreading doesn't quite land, I will be handing round a little explanatory fact sheet at the end.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just before we move on, has anybody got any questions?
Yeah, how the frick are you so...
Oh, we got one question up there. Meta, what's the question?
What happens if your fork only has one prong?
This is a great question. It's a great question. Let's give a round of applause for being brave enough to ask a question live here in the Soapstone. Sadly, he's embarrassed himself. He's embarrassed us all because, of course, basically, you're talking there about a spike, not a fork, my friend. But thank you. The other question we sometimes get asked, you got a question there, Rocket Man?
Yes, just how dangerous is a pair of tongs?
A pair of tongs. This is good. If you've got 2 people stood next to each other with their mouths open, and then those 2 tongues are very dangerous. That's how fast you got to think when you're working in the world of health and safety, guys. And we've got one more question from Charles Ufal before we move on. Chelsea.
Hey, what about the spork?
What a question, my friend. Now, he's a plant. He knows what he's doing. He's winding me up because officially at the Steel and Cutlery Manufacturers Association, we do not and will never officially recognize the sport. Out. Any of you guys ever go into Pizza Hut, McDonald's? Do you like your chicken? The problem there's the KFC. The problem with that, my friend, is that these guys are not using cutlery anymore. Cutlery's dying out. You've got to walk up to the counter. Don't let them fob you off with any of this plastic stuff. Look the manager in the eye and say to him, plastic is drastic. Keep it real with steel. My name's Ian Crawford. Just one last thing to warn you about, guys. It's been mainly about cutlery, but we can talk about other health and safety things. We'll talk about wheelie bins. I'm worried about them. Electric blankets. I'm worried about them. But the main thing I'm worried about here in the Metaverse, we have had some cracks in the edge of the scenery. If you see a crack and a purple light, do not go towards the purple light. Last week, 2 VR mongers, that's what I call them, people who come into the Horizon world. They went into the purple crack. Their batteries powered down. We've not been able to get any nutrients or water to them. We've had to tell their families they've gone. If you see a purple crack, do not go towards it. Ladies and gents, from me, Ian Crawford, I can't help thinking that we've made Soapstone and the wider Horizon world, wherever we are, that little bit safer. Do you promise to spread the message to whoever you see?
Yes.
Stay safe with your
If
cutlery.
you see a purple crack, turn back.
You better believe it, my friend. I couldn't have put it better myself. We don't like banning people, but that's another person banned. Ladies and gents, from me, one of the safest guys in the Horizon world, to you, thank you for listening. Give me your attention. Most of all, stay safe, but stay cutlery safe. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
That was bloody incredible.